All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Hajime no Ippo, Season 3, Episode 21.
The battle between the hawk and the eagle continues.
Indeed, the eagle has been harried.
Yes.
The hawk has quite a vicious streak when he gets all up in your eyes there.
Yeah.
And now they're each willing to go and
Cut for cut.
pluck out what they
Pluck
can.
out the eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
But
the
Eagle
wings.
took a shit ton of damage
In the
before
previous
now
episode, yeah.
as a result of his not wanting to actually go after the wounded eye.
Yep.
And then there was Takamura's whole underhanded thing that who knows if he could have foreseen exactly this outcome, but yeah. Now Eagle's injured just like he is.
And Takamura, I mean, you could definitely pull this one together, but if you give him too much time to recover, it makes it even longer, and then you could get injured even more to where it's not about whether or not you win, it's about
His counters are very strong.
Taking too much damage.
Yeah. Now, I think Takamura is going to win this.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And this is...
Yeah.
And even more so, I feel like Takamura now has the serious advantage, and Eagle is the underdog.
Totally.
So I'm
That's
excited
why he needs to take that advantage. And
Right, exactly.
Go.
Yes, and I'm excited to see how he takes that advantage, because even if Eagle loses, I want to see how he loses. I want to see everything that happens up till that point.
Yeah.
So,
y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. All right, that's a fantastic conclusion to a solid fight. And I love that at the end, you could hear the crowd and everyone just be like, dude, yeah, come back to Japan.
Yeah, Japan,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And then Takamura blindly punching multiple times because he's seeing his coach. He's seeing Kamogawa, his father there, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Just, okay, yeah.
It feels
stuff.
very sort of like old school and classic with the even when I can't even see anymore, the training of my coach that's like a father to me. Right, exactly. The only closest thing I have to a real father. You know, I still see his gloves there.
They guide me to their target.
They guide my fists,
Exactly.
right? And I make those punches. Even freaking counters.
Yeah, the counter was a really fun surprise because while he was moving down, so it wasn't that he necessarily intended to, like, dodge it. It was something where the punch of Eagles missed just barely because Takamura then, I think, drove forward in the midst of that. So maybe he missed the trajectory with his right and then was able to come in with the left in a way that was a Miyata-style counter. Like, I mean, Miyata's counters, I'm sure, are very, like, classic. Like, it's like the standard counter. But from underneath the arm to go above at that angle, hitting him in the temple, which... Like, at that stage in the fight, a strong hit to the temple, he had already kind of won. It was just the question of how much damage would he follow up with that. But I am so impressed that Eagle was not only conscious at the end of this fight, he was up, walking, talking, moving with coordination.
Yeah.
Takamura, you kind of got lucky as well.
Well, like, he did. And I love how it's the, what's that saying? Fortune favors the prepared. You know, it's
exactly.
The destiny is when opportunity and preparation intersect. You know, it's
exactly
like, and that's what happened for Takamura here, right?
Put 10,000 punches.
Exactly. So of course he knows exactly how it works, and let's not forget. His work on Eagle up till now helped him win this, because
that's totally true.
If Eagle had not taken all that damage, like the time when Takamura grazed his cheek and his knees still almost buckled, that's just how much damage Eagle had taken, right? Not even getting punched almost took him to the ground.
A glancing touch.
Right, a glancing touch, right?
Like that shockwave.
But no true, like, solid impact, you know.
Right.
That's probably why once it got to that point and Takamura couldn't see, Eagle wasn't able to do the kind of footwork and dodge the punches that Takamura would have thrown. Because theoretically, if his lower body and everything was still limber and spry and still felt good, he could, lean back and dodge and do all these things. And because Takamura wouldn't be able to see his actual movements, just his feet, he probably wouldn't be able to land punches very good well, point, right? Yeah. But he couldn't do that. Yeah, he couldn't do that. Just standing was hard enough, right? So yes, Takamura couldn't see, but his target wasn't moving.
Right.
Like so it's there were a bunch of great ways that they basically took a fight that for all intensive purposes was a very vanilla fight, right? On the surface of you're fighting a vanilla boxer, you've already done a world championship match, right? So this is at an easier weight. Like there's all these elements where, because we saw how Takamura pushed through his own limits and everything to defeat Hawk, that we would think this fight is kind of a done deal.
It's kind of easy.
But there were all these things that were thrown in. The whole deal with the damage over the eyes, and the bleeding and the not being able to see. The fact that Takamura already had issues with his eye, and it's the fact that it ended up being this complication specifically makes it even worse, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's the fact that he ended up getting both eyes not being able to see out of. Because, like, at first when Eagle was going for the left eye or the other eye or the right eye...
I thought it was the gentlemanly thing again.
Yeah, I was like, well, what are you doing? Like just keep hitting that eye. And then it's like, oh, wait, no.
No, he's trying to blind him.
Yeah, because he's acknowledging the amount of damage that he's already... that Eagle has already taken, right? And he's like, I don't know if I can take too much more, so I'm going to make sure that he shouldn't be able to land anything.
Yeah.
But turns out Takamura still was able to.
Right. That was really cool.
And who knows? Maybe if Eagle had just focused on the bleeding eye, maybe that would have been enough to cause the serious damage that would have taken Takamura out of the fight.
From like a doctor stoppage.
Right?
Yeah.
But one, Eagle didn't want that. Two, Eagle would have no way of knowing that Takamura would still be able to hit him with both eyes shut, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was a decision that he made in the fight that was a good decision, right?
Right. And in some ways I like that it was basically saying that if you're just a better Brian Hawk in some ways, you're just an animal, you just, go out like this, then this should stop you. But if you're a real athlete, if you're like me and you've trained so hard, you have that animal side as well, but you have this on a bedrock of foundational training, then maybe you'll have a shot here.
Right.
But in some ways he was banking on him maybe not having that as much. And as he started to think about how Takamura kept going, he's like, no, this guy does have like all this training and stuff.
Right.
That's why Hawk was just not just so scared of him because he was so strong, or he could, throw like hands like a wild animal. He is also a trained like professional here.
And I'll bet that if push came to shove and the situation was reversed, Eagle could have still landed punches like Takamura did with only being able to see the feet.
Yeah, very possible.
But because he also has that crazy training and stuff, but because Takamura, on top of all of that, has the freakish physicality where it's I'm supposed to still be 5 weight classes higher than this. If we go into a slugfest, you can pile on the disadvantages and the penalties and things like that onto me. I will still beat you.
Yeah, I love that it came down to it where the coaches were like, how is he actually losing a slugfest here?
Yeah.
This should be our win. Oh my God, this is not working.
And I love that Kamigawa was like so ready to throw in the towel. He's like, no, this is all kinds of bad. This is a horrible situation.
Yeah, two of those rights came in after the doctor stoppage that both made me just the air just kind of just get like arrested in my lungs there.
The fact that they were talking about like, additional hits will be putting damage on the connective tissue, like not just that he'll lose the eye, right?
But because the eyelid would go slack and just fall off towards the middle.
Yeah, because the idea of damaging an eyeball that's a very squishy thing to the point that it isn't able to perform its function, you can't see or something. Okay, I get that. That is, yes, that's much more serious than the eyelid itself.
Yeah.
But the idea visually seeing something where people punch each other so hard
that their eyelid gets torn off.
And
would be like hanging
and then,
from the middle.
And then you've just got this open socket with the eyeball. That's like on the level of like when you hear like some crazy thing happen and then the bones break, you know, and it's just like nope. I don't need that.
Sport.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
It's like brutal. I am so glad it didn't get to that point, not just for Takamura's sake because I don't want him to lose his eye, but also because I don't want to see that. I don't need that picture in my head.
Yeah, I'm
like,
good. Yeah.
So
my imagination is just fine already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This fight ending though with Takamura getting a sweet moment where he gets to hand the belts to Kamigawa, but Kamigawa at the end is like
not just as a coach.
I don't just see him as a coach anymore.
He's, that's my son.
Yeah, that's my son. Basically,
like that felt very much like a. You're gonna see a monster go enter that ring. That monster is my son. Like.
Yeah. I really love father-son dynamics in stories, but specifically with boxing, there's a couple stories out there that have the father-son dynamic handled really well, and this one
nailed it.
This one nailed it.
Yeah.
Especially in the last like couple arcs with Takamura basically being more or less like one of the more main characters because of Ippo's fights being less competitive, I would say. You really feel like Takamura is kind of taking the reins of being the main character for a little bit, and it makes the emotional stuff with Kamigawa feel that much stronger. But then also the comedy moments where he's showing his disappointment in Takamura's, wild side. It's kind of like saying
I care that much.
Yeah, the dad cares so much here that he's like, hey, you're better than this. What are you doing?
Right.
Slaps you with his cane because he loves you.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just sweet.
So the other thing that happened this episode that was just so awesome.
Oh. Yes, that was like, so good.
Sorry for any of you wearing headphones, but like the idea that the doctor is like, no, this is we gotta stop this, right?
It's not going to mean that you lose. It's going to mean that we're going to take this to points,
right?
Because you guys are both really in bad shape right now. And then Takamura just grabs him. He's like, "No, what are you, an idiot? I'm an idiot sandwich. Yes, you're an idiot sandwich." And he's like,
"This is nothing."
Like, you think I give a shit about my eye? I'm putting my life out there now.
Yeah. So, don't you cock block me?
Yeah, exactly.
You son of a bitch, right?
And I like that Eagle followed suit with him here once he realized what was going on. Because one of the things that I would assume a little bit from the professional athlete side of things here is a little bit of a stickler for the rules, maybe.
Oh.
And the thing that we saw that was almost stronger than the professional kind of I'm a good boxer kind of thing where I follow the rules or anything like that, or I hold to the higher road, is respect.
Yes.
He came into this fight knowing that this guy broke Brian Hawk.
Right.
So he already was excited about the idea of fighting Takamura. Because in some ways, Takamura robbed him of a fight that he wanted, was to fight Brian Hawk. And he's like, well, shit, I'll never be able to fight this guy now, because he's literally done.
Yeah.
Some guy from Japan went and broke this guy's psyche.
Yep.
He was already pretty screwed up inside, but now he actually will not box again because of that. Okay, I must fight him, so I'm excited. I come over here to meet him, and he's actually a lot like Brian Hawk.
So he's a better Brian Hawk.
Right.
Gotcha.
So in some ways, I'll bet you he was excited, thinking like, okay, all right, cool. So then this is actually a good replacement. Nice. But I'll bet you he was also a little bit like, this guy's not that much of a professional athlete, you know? I'm not sure I can respect this guy as much on that angle, but he's a fantastic boxer.
Right. It's the Eagle probably is used to being disappointed as far as people not necessarily being as professional as him.
Exactly.
So,
but also disappointed in what kind of performance they put up in the fight. And at this point, I think he was so impressed already with what Takamura had put into this fight that the second Takamura led the crowd in anything, whereas he was kind of leading the crowd in the stuff before this because they were booing Takamura at one point. He's like, no, solidarity.
Hell yeah.
Solidarity. Boxers together. We are going to fight this to the end. Hell yeah. Rah! And then he just goes out for it. I think that was the moment where I fell in love again with the two of them fighting.
Yes.
Because the fight seemed to be more or less a foregone conclusion other than whether or not Takamura was going to be able to
what
fight.
Consequences there might be as a result of it.
Right. Fight with that eye, basically, for either a while or again. And that was the moment where I was like, oh no, it doesn't matter. This fight is going to go all the way to its conclusion. Takamura is going to win. But this guy here, this guy has so much respect for Takamura and to be able to do this that in some ways he might have also thrown away a potential opportunity to win via points, because I would give Eagle the slight edge in points here at that point in the match, even though Takamura really dominated in like one of the previous rounds or two by like really taking back the tempo side of things because of the eye wound.
I get the feeling that
if it came down to points at that time,
that Takamura very well could have
lost. Yeah,
and that's something where it's okay.
Yeah.
Is that something where then it's Eagle being unprofessional in that sense because he's not taking the potential victory? Maybe, And is it because he's going easy on Takamura? Maybe not. It might not be because of that. It might be that it's that pride angle. It's the ego. It's the
I wanted this fight so much.
I wanted this fight so much. That would be...
I need it.
I need it. That would be disappointing if I were to only win by points.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're the one who beat Brian Hawk, right? Yeah. You are a terror in the ring. I want to defeat you.
Yeah. And I think he could have. Yeah. There were a couple points in the fight where they did a really good job of selling us that Takamura scraped by.
Yep.
And scraped by, I think, is a great way to describe it, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
like, it's not that Takamura was lucky. It's that he gritted his teeth, basically, through a couple things that could have ended it.
Yeah, in any kind of situation like this, there are going to be elements of luck on both sides, right?
Totally.
The fact that Eagle got the cut on Takamura's eye to begin with, that's a bit of luck, right? The fact that Takamura was able to return the favor, even if maybe a bit...
Oh, in very intentional,
right?
Very intentional cheating kind of way.
The fact that Takamura was able to actually land the punches, even with only being able to see his feet, right? There were a lot of factors in there. Some of it might have been a bit of luck, right? The fact that he was able to take Eagle down in the part where Takamura also fell down.
Yeah.
That's like... Those are things that, yes, Takamura made it work because of his skill and training and stuff, but because Eagle is also incredibly skilled and trained, there's a potential reality where Eagle could have maybe kept some of those things from happening. Sure. But when it comes right down to it, that didn't happen. It went the way it went. Here you go.
Here we go.
Yep.
And of course, have to end the episode with a goofy little moment where Takamura scares the shit out of Kimura while he's pissing himself.
Because, of course, Aoki already got that treatment, even when he was the one who picked you up in the ring, and we went back and checked Takamura. Now, it's possible it's like a translation, difference or things like that. But you specifically said if you guys lose, not if you guys don't win.
Yeah.
So this was...
So you've convinced them that
that's what you said.
But it's actually not what actually was said, yeah.
Yeah. So... But that being said, this is far preferable, I think, as far as post-World Championship victory high actions than what Takamura did after Brian Hawk's fight. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
we've got a few episodes left.
Yeah, we're almost done with the show.
What's left? What do you do next?
Maybe eventually Ippo fighting Miata?
But I feel no setup for that.
Yeah, there's no setup for it, and there's not enough episodes. Okay, no, so here's what we gotta have.
We need to have,
You know how the pattern goes, Caleb.
Oh, no, it's going to be even worse. You know what it's going to be?
What?
They're going to set up, a whole nother, tournament or something.
Oh, God, and then go read the manga?
Go read the manga, yeah.
So here's my prediction.
Yeah, okay.
Ippo as a show has demonstrated a masterful talent and skill and understanding of relieving tension.
Oh
Now,
my God.
In this situation, we just had a high tensity moment. Previously, with high tensity moments, usually when facing champions of some category or other,
we need a goofy episode.
We need goofy episodes. Yeah. Now, Itagakimasu. Of course, there's a part of me that holds out hope. I'm actually not really holding out
Flower
hope.
of Hope was the thing in
Flower
the
of
end
Hope
of the
is apparently the title of the next episode, but I don't know if Ippo deserves to have any kind of Flower of Hope sort of situation with Kumi.
Well, flower, but no hope.
Right.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. But I would love to see if there is some sort of Ippo Kumi shenanigans and stuff. I would love to see it just so I can see Mashiba doing his terrifying shtick again.
That would be fun.
But
yeah, it's a flower though. It's not a deflower. So
exactly,
Ippo is not going to be able to do anything with the D.
They will never even get to the point of. Have they ever held hands? Maybe they have. Never going to get to the point of kissing for sure.
Never.
Maybe on chapter like 1100 or something like that. Right.
That sounds about
right.
But
you know that's far from now.
Right, exactly. Ippo will have like kids with someone else by that point.
Yeah, they're the people who grew up watching this show when it started coming out in the manga and everything will be showing it to their grandkids by the time Ippo and Kumi actually get married, if they ever do.
We shit on that so much, but it's like, it's a formula.
Yep.
And this show very much knows how to handle formula. So
that's right. The fact that like we've spent basically 2.5 years watching this show, right? And the show, definitely has that formula. Two people go into a ring. They fight each other, right? And yet it has flown by. Like the time has absolutely flown by.
It has. But, y'all, we've got a few more episodes left, so thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. Info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.